In this video we're going to take a closer look at some of the release preference options and also some of the other settings that control the classic or contemporary views of new development and releases coming from Microsoft in the 365 farm and SharePoint. So currently I'm in Admin 365. I've opened up the settings tab, and inside the settings tab I've clicked on Organization Profile. Here the option Release Preferences is available, and should you click on this and edit this, you have three options in total. Standard release, where everybody gets updates once they're broadly released, i.e. when Microsoft decide they're no longer going to offer the classic and contemporary look and feel and functionality, and they're going to move from old to new. The first release for everyone, which is about everybody getting the updates immediately as they come down from Microsoft. I wouldn't recommend this for accounts where you have a number of end users, because you won't be able to prepare your end users for new releases. And probably this one, which is the preferred setting, first release for selected users, which is where you can designate who should see the new releases, and that should be probably your testing group, so that you can review that information, measure the gap, and prepare the end users for when you do decide to release the new changes into your environment. So this is the Office 365 look, and depending on which one of these options you choose depends on who sees what in your farm, and this is quite important, and is compounded by the next component that we're going to look at. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to SharePoint. If we click on SharePoint here, will take us to Central Administration in SharePoint, and what we're looking for is this option here, Settings. If we left click this Settings option, there are a number of available options in this particular page, but this is the one we're really interested in, which is the SharePoint List and Library Experience. Now, here you have two options, the Classic Experience and the New Experience. If you select the Classic Experience, none of the changes, such as at the moment the new site contents, the new SharePoint document library look and feel, will be released in your farm. So no matter what option you chose in the 365 account, this will override what is happening in SharePoint. So if you've selected a number of users to get the new look and feel so that you can test it, depending on what you've got selected here, may conflict with that option. So it's worth coming here and just having a look. Now remember, these options also are in the SharePoint Central Administration, so these will globally affect the entire farm depending on what you choose. So this isn't site specific or collection specific, but entire farm specific. Also, if you read this here, it's obvious from reading this that even though you may choose a classic experience, once Microsoft decides that the new document library, the new site content pages now become the classic experience, they will remove the category new experience from it and completely replace it. So to a degree, it's much better that you prepare your users and make that step change of your own free will, rather than being forced down that route when Microsoft deprecates the old look and feel. So there is a further change, and what we want to do here is we want to drop into a site. And if I take you to just an ordinary site with the new library, the new document library for 2016 here. Now, let's say this change has happened and my users aren't ready for it, or we've got some users on a document library that actually were far more comfortable with the classic view, or we want to do some additional training. What we need to do here is click on All Documents, drop into Manage View, which will take us into the Settings page. And in the Settings page, we want this third option, Advanced Settings. And what we'll find here in Advanced Settings is the ability to manage the experience. So here we have three options. Remember, this is targeted this specific list, not the site, not the collection, just this list. So we can decide that the default experience should be set by the administrator, whatever the administrator has decided we should see. We could have the new experience, or we can have the classic experience, and both of these options would override the default experience set by the administrator. So this would override potentially some of the changes that may be made at a site level or a collection level, but it wouldn't override what's been set at the farm level, and it won't override what's been set at the Office 365 level. So these changes may be available to power users and users with advanced settings who can come in here and make those specific changes to those views. So this video is designed just to give you a quick overview at where you can make the changes to roll back some of the updates to allow onboarding and adoption by users in your organization. I will be creating a new video which will take a much deeper look and actually look at what happens when we select some of these options. Please join me for that video. Thank you for watching.